So now, what about this operant conditioning and shaping? Let's tell you the story of the prince and the little fox. No, it's the little prince and the fox. Okay, sorry about that. So supposedly how this story goes is there was this beautiful fox, and the little prince saw it, and he was like, oh my gosh, I want to play with that fox. And the fox was like, well, if you try to play with me too fast, I'm going to run away because that's my nature. And then the little prince is like, oh, well, that's too bad because I was really hoping we could be friends. And the fox was kind of bored that day, and he was like, well, I don't know, maybe I can tell him. So he goes, all right, I'm going to teach you how to become friends with me. And the little prince is like, okay. So then the fox, he says, the number one most reinforcing thing for all people is, dun dun dun, do you guys remember what it was? Starts with an A. Attention. Okay, so attention. The number one most reinforcing thing for all people is attention. So what you have to do is you have to give me attention, but it has to be attention that doesn't scare me away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out into the meadow in the sun and feel the warmth of the sun on me. And I want you to stand off at a distance so I see you, but you're not going to scare me away, and just kind of watch me, interested. And he said, you know, after you watch me for a little bit, you should probably go away. And then you should come back the next day and do it. And then the next day again, you should do it. And soon I'm going to grow to really like your attention. I'm actually going to like that you come and you watch me. You know what, you guys? That's such a powerful thing. Going to someone's games or watching their presentation or saying, hey, let me read the book that you're writing. Oh, let me see the poem that you're writing. That's so important. Okay, well, anyway, so the fox says, now, when you are certain that I'm really looking forward to seeing you, what I want you to do is I want you not to be there one day. The little prince says, really? Why? And the fox says, because when you're not there, I will recognize that how much I miss you and how much you mean to me. And so then the next day I want you to return. And at that point, I'm probably even going to turn and look at you. And when you see me turning and look at you, you should definitely stare at me. And then each day, little by little, you will be able to come and be my friend. But you have to do it slowly. So, how about another story? Ooh, you say, Amy, we did not sign up for these stories. I love stories. Come on, give it to me. All right. So there was this woman, and her husband had gone off to war, and when he went off to war, he seemed to get shell-shocked, and he just could not love her the way that he originally did. It was like he lost his love for her. So she went to go see this wise man. And she told the wise man, I just want to bring my husband back to what we once were. And the wise man says, okay. Well, I just need you to get me a tiger's whisker. And she says, what? A tiger's whisker? What are you talking about? And he says, oh, I'm sure you can find one, but I need a tiger's whisker. So she does not know how in the world she's going to get a tiger whisker. But she realizes that, hey, I'm pretty sure there's a tiger that lives out in this cave. So she comes up with this plan. And what she does is she gets some food and she puts it very far away from the cave where he lives. And she just leaves it there and then she walks away. And then she comes the next night, does it too. The next night, does it too. And then after about the fourth night, she actually lets the tiger see her. She waits for the whites of his eyes to come to the cave. And then he sees her and then she walks away. And she does this for like a week or so. And then after a week, she puts the food down and she actually stands there as the tiger starts to come out of the cave. And she does this for a week. But she walks away before he gets there. then each week she lets him get further and further out of the cave, to the point where after about 5 weeks, he actually comes to the bowl while she's standing there. So now she's been doing this for probably about 2 months. And so now she's standing there, and now she doesn't move and lets him eat. And then she does that for like a week or 2. And then she eventually leaves the food there, and she tentatively kneels down while he's eating, so he literally can see her very close while he's eating. She does that for 2 weeks. Then she gets to the point where she puts her hand on his, like near his nose. And she puts her hand there. She doesn't quite touch him, but she puts her hand there and just leaves it there. And then finally, after about 3 months of all this, she puts her hand there and she has some scissors and just gets that little tiger's whisker. So finally she gets the tiger's whisker after weeks and weeks of time. And she takes it to the wise old man and she goes, I got the tiger's whisker. And he says, well, tell me how you got this. And she goes through the whole story that I just went through. And he goes, okay, well, now you know how to get your husband back. Hey, so what does this have to do with anything? Well, I'm talking to you about operant conditioning. Oh, do you guys hear my cat? That's the tiger coming. Okay, well, anyway, so this operant conditioning is that we can slowly shape people into treating us a certain way with time. So you give someone attention each day, you give someone attention, and that's kind of reinforcing them. And then when they don't do something that you like, then you don't reinforce them, kind of. It's shaping, it's rewarding successive approximations of the desired behavior. So here's like your plan of action. Okay, so you find somebody that you like. Maybe there's somebody at work that you like. So each day you kind of compliment them, but then definitely don't get into that space where like it gets awkward and like you just give them a compliment and then you kind of go on and about your business, and then maybe the next time you see them you give them another compliment. But you have to be good with like really noticing things so it doesn't seem like fake. And then eventually, though, they're going to enjoy your company so much that they might say, hey, do you want to hang out with us on Friday night? And you could be like, oh, you should get excited. You should say, what? Oh, that would be so fun. I'm so excited. But then if you wanted to kind of play this game, then you could say that you're going to go and they're looking forward for you to go, and then you don't go. I don't know if you want to do that the first time. It's about kind of creating anticipation so the person realizes like how much they miss you or how much they like you, and then it kind of turns over to a full-blown like, aha, I really think that I like this person. I don't know how you guys feel about this whole kind of game thing. And I want to say, like, okay, I taught you about classical conditioning, and you know what? Before I leave this classical conditioning, I want to tell you that it works the other way too. So this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, you know what? I think I know why you broke up last time. What? I'm going to say, I think I know why you broke up with your partner last time. And here it is. It's classical conditioning. This definitely, maybe attraction has too many kind of biological elements, but I think the breakups definitely come down to this conditioning thing. Is what happens over time is if you create negativity by complaining or arguing or letting people down or just something over and over again, then you become associated with negative emotions. So in order for a relationship to work, we're going to find out there's a magic ratio of positive to negatives. But we're not going to do that right now. We're going to do that in the marriage module. I don't want to ruin that right now. But if you are constantly associated with negative feelings, like you're complaining about something all the time, or, you know, you're just letting the person down. They text you, they get excited, then you don't text back, so on and so forth, then eventually you're going to become associated with negative. So just want to share with this. But what we're going to do is I'm going to show you another story. I love stories, and so our next module is going to be this great story. And I think I might even read it to you because I love it so much that even though I could let you read it yourself on the PowerPoint, I think I'm going to read it to you because I want to share it with you. I want to be with you. And so anyway, I taught you this game. But I feel like if you're really having to work so hard and play a game, I don't think this is the right person for you. I think that when you find somebody that's right, it just happens naturally. So this is book kind of stuff to understand that, like, you should reinforce what you do want to happen. That's operant conditioning, reinforcing a voluntary behavior, and understanding that change takes time and that what you want takes time. But, you know, just definitely reinforce the person for what they do good. And when they don't do something good, then you should kind of take your attention away. Understanding that attention is the number one reinforcer for all people, and then always being associated with positive behaviors is something key to learn on this slide. But now what I want to do is I want to read to you one of my favorite books, and it's going against the games. I don't believe in games. We learned this. They're great psychological principles, but now I'd like to show you what I really feel about relationships.